Hey everybody, Tim and Julie here for another story of Batman, Season 1, Episode 7 and 8, Instant Freeze, Rats Like Cheese. I feel like they're getting desperate for rhymes.
Yes, they are.
So this is the first story with Mr. Freeze. So we had the Riddler, then we had the Penguin, and then we had the Joker, and now we have Mr. Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point in the comics, it wasn't Mr. Freeze, it was Mr. Zero.
Mm.
And then in like 1992, when my favorite series, the Batman, the animated series, came out, that's when they had kind of redone the Mr. Freeze storyline. Where that's kind of like the general Mr. Freeze. Like 1992 redefined Batman. Because that's where we got Harley Quinn, and like I said, they redefined Mr. Freeze, where like his wife had been frozen, and he's almost like an anti-hero, like he's just trying to save his wife. Whereas this is long before that, and he's just a villain in this. So, right off the top, what did you think?
It was slow.
It was slow?
Yeah. It got funnier, though, at the end. I liked the end.
Okay. I liked all of the, like, basically, like, anything with Mr. Freeze, it's always just, like, frozen jokes.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. Like, the whole thing, where we, like I said, so we get Batman in, like, the instant freeze type thing. The whole, like, where they create the hot pads anywhere they go.
But when it started, how... there was ice. They were spraying ice on the road in July.
Oh, right. Done.
Yeah.
But like I said, I love how, like, so Mr. Freeze has, like, the kitchen table, but he has to create the hot pads for his henchmen.
And to come in. Oh, we can't come in. It's too cold.
Yep. We see Mr. Freeze in his cliche kind of bodysuit, which again, that's something that will carry on throughout the years of Mr. Freeze. Him freezing the Batmobile before they leave, like his whole gun, like his little gun, was great. I loved it.
From freeze and everything to
like a laser
heating everything up.
Mm-hmm. So I like that. God, I can't even say it without laughing. The whole scene, like the commercial break, where it's like, will the real Batman please stand up? It's like, no, I'm done with that. Which, again, like, for somebody who grew up in the 90s, I think of Slim Shady. But again, it's kind of like a reference, like, what's my line, or to tell the truth, or something.
Oh, it's funny, though, is when Jordan came home, and there was 6 Batman, 6 of his of Mr. Freeze, and Jordan looks, oh, it looks like there's 2 Batman. No.
Oh, there's more than that. And then there's 6, and then it's like, will the real Batman please stand up? No, stop. Why is this a thing right now? And that's kind of where it started going down for me. And then, of course, like, where, like, it comes down to the point, like, is Robin going to freeze to death, or is Batman going to freeze to death? And Batman pushes Robin into the heat pad, and he's like, I have my, like, thermal long underwear.
Like, yeah.
What the fuck? Like, stop. What's happening? So, I don't know. This is one of those moments where the Riddler has stayed pretty consistent. The Penguin has stayed pretty consistent, except for, like, he's gone back and forth between how his appearance is.
Right.
But whether he's a mutant or whether he's a fat guy in a tuxedo, like, his motive is pretty much consistent. The Joker stayed pretty consistent. Mr. Freeze has changed more than anybody else. Between now to, like, especially the 90s, where like I said, in the 90s, he becomes more of an anti-hero, where, like, his wife has, like, this incurable disease, and that's literally, like, he's just stealing jewels to help save his wife. So it becomes more of, like, this, like, sad story, whereas, like, seeing him in this, I'm like, okay, you're just a criminal. So it goes back and forth. But I don't know. For this one, it was interesting. I still really enjoyed it. It's one of those, like, it's a different type of origin story, but it, like you said, it was a little bit slower than the last one.
It was funny though at the end, the fight at the end.
Oh yeah,
went pushing polar bear.
Oh yeah, all the fights, like every single fight, where they're like kapow, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Cue 5 minutes of nothing but sound effects, and then there's Aunt Harriet. Did I get her name?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. And just no reason, she just shows up.
Yeah, and she's wearing different clothes each time.
There you go. See. Yeah, I don't know. Like I liked it. I didn't think it was great, but I did like it.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'm like you. It wasn't my favorite.
Okay.
It could have been a little better, but yeah, maybe a 6 or 7.
Okay. So for those who have seen it, go ahead and let me know. Like I said, Mr. Freeze has had the most changes in his origin story. Like literally, like from his name. Because after, like I said, again, once we get to like 1992, they actually change his name to, it's Victor Freeze, but it's spelled like fries. It's Fries.
Oh, okay.
But it's German, so it's pronounced Freeze. But like that's from the 90s on, where it's Victor Freeze. And so like before that, it's all of this campy, like, oh, I'm just a villain story. So where do you guys fall in? Like, do you like the newer one? Do you like the older one? Go ahead, let us know. We are blasting through this series, so I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Otherwise, we will see you guys next time for episodes 9 and 10, Zelda the Great and a Death Worse Than Fate.